Good. What we've got here is I've clicked on the bearish momentum data mining filter. Now with this, again with my own selected experienced data filters, what I've gone for is a list of stocks which are mined out of the whole list of London Stock Exchange stocks to find the ones which have a bearish momentum. In other words, I think they're likely to continue falling. They're supposed to be medium to high risk for a 1 to 3 month typical holding period. Again, I'm looking for a 20% return at least. Now with these, particularly people who are interested in CFDs or spread betting can find these very useful, because there you will go short. In other words, you'd sell at a high price expecting them to fall and buy back cheaper later. And with any of these, of course, what we can do is click on the tables to get more detail on how they've been performing. But probably more importantly, we want to have a look at their price charts. And again, if I click on, for instance, the breadth chart over here, that'll give me some idea of how they're performing relative to what's happening in the market. But probably more importantly for me is the momentum chart, because they tend to be my favorite indicators. Now on a separate chapter in the CD-ROM we'll look at how I use momentum indicators, but here you can see with Alexandra, for instance, we've got a good depiction of what's happening on, let me just go back onto the bearish momentum, what's happening on bearish momentum with a stock which is actually in bearish momentum. There we go. Next, for instance, and you can see how it's been falling quite sharply. Now that's not to say that this may not come off our bearish momentum list, because remember, it's a very active portfolio. We're only looking to have this for a very short period of time, and it might not squeeze back up very quickly. So you can see another haze where I think is still on the negative side. Again, I'll explain what these indicators do later. Ted Baker, GET and DCC as well. Now the point here is, okay, this is for ones to look at if we're really going to focus in on shorting. How do we know about exiting? Well, if you go to the Info Center, and remember what I said about the Info Center, View, Info Center, and then click on Alpesh Result Introduction, then you'll get to read more about how I decide entry and exits.